first of all, thank you and welcome to Metal Fusion. We are from Argentina, South America. I don't know if you've ever been here, but
No, I've never been. I've done a South American tour once, but I've never been. We missed Argentina and Argentina, South Korea, and Japan are like three countries that's on my bucket list to do to play in.
You must come someday for sure. But thank you for approaching me and for giving me just a little piece of your time. It is a pleasure to have you here. In fact, this is the first time that I do this kind of interview. Like in general, I am the one looking for bands that want to be part of my program. This can work or not, but like this is the first time that I got a call from a band, so to say, which makes me feel very honored and proud. So thank you again. And just because this is a special interview, I'll give you the power and I would like to give you a little space so you can introduce yourself and the band. You can speak freely. Latin America is here with open ears.
So I'm Zorn, and I play in a band called ZORNHEYM, and we are from Sweden, even though we have one guitar player that's coming from Ireland. And we are, I guess I would label us as a symphonic melodic death slash heavy metal band, because we kind of take everything that we want in the metal candy store and put it in our bag before we check out and pay for the candy. We are a concept band, and that means that all our albums take place at an insane asylum called ZORNHEYM that's located in Germany. And our kind of the time period is the end of the 1800 and the beginning of the 1900. And the first album was kind of an introduction to the whole asylum, where we introduced a couple of different inmates that were confined there and kind of gave everyone like a piece of their background story. And together with that, and in the CD and the vinyl, we added like an explanation where the Dr. Beetleheim that's running the insane asylum is giving his opinion about these patients, kind of their patient journals. And the second album is called the ZORNHEYM Sleep Experiment, and that deals with a sleep experiment that's taking place at the asylum. And basically, the doctor has this statement of intent that he wants to discover what happens if you keep a human awake for 30 days. And then he picks a bunch of inmates and put them in a concealed area, a chamber where they are forced to inhale a gas that makes them stay awake. And in the album, you get to follow every step of the experiment. So each song is like a certain period of time of the sleep experiment. So you're starting with at the beginning of the experiment, and then you end with when everything has gone to shit, basically.
This is the best explanation ever. I have to say that you are awesome.
Thank you very much.
Also, I had to do some research. In fact, I had to go back in time to your first record. I can't believe how underestimated this band is. first of all, you're great, and I know you know that. But your music evokes something unique, and I can't even put a label on it. Like death metal, melodic death metal, progressive metal, whatever metal.
Yeah.
Because there are so many layers on every song that you really need to concentrate and stay focused in what is happening beyond the veil. And this is not about just good riffs or heavy drums or strong bass lines. Like this is something else. And there are very important like elements, strings, powerful choirs, acoustic guitars. The atmosphere is very strong that I can barely describe it. And
Oh, thank you.
because if we listen to the results, man, this is a whole universe of sound. And for example, a Silent God, track number 3 from your first record, it's
Yep.
something totally scary, but at the same time, it's full of emotions. And there are so many layers. There's so much going on into the song. I would like to ask you, what kind of music do you listen to? Like, could you share with us a little bit about your inspirations for making such type of music?
You know, I think that within the metal genre, I have a pretty broad music taste. I'm a big fan of Yngwie, of course, but I also like Swedish black metal bands like Dissection, death metal bands like Dismember and At the Gates and everything like that. And I'm a huge fan of Blind Guardian from Germany, and also, you know, bands like Rhapsody from Italy, and yeah, Vader from Poland is a great band that I've toured with several times. Great musicians, and yeah, and then we have, you know, the whole other aspect where we also like movie scores composers like Danny Elfman and Hans Zimmer and John Williams and all of these great guys, and of course the classical composers like Bach and Beethoven and all of that. And then I guess that the music is also sprinkled a little bit with Swedish folk music that I also enjoy a lot. And it's basically that I started the band in 2014, and for quite some time I had been playing in bands where I wasn't the band leader or the main composer, so to speak. So I really felt like an urge to, when I started this band, that I wanted to have like a direction where I got the opportunity to kind of take all my own inspiration and then uh, put it in this blender where it would end up sounding like this, pretty unique. You know, when you describe it to someone, it can sound a bit kind of schizophrenic almost, but I think that the music has like a red thread, because I've always heard people saying ever since I started evolving as a composer, that, you know, when you do something, you can immediately hear that it's you that have composed it. And I think that's kind of the red thread that we have, that I have a certain way of writing melodies that I've probably stolen from all of my inspiration and then done my own thing with it. We uh, the whole album is recorded in a studio, so the guitars, you know, we're using real amps. with the strings. We're using real string people, string players, and most of the choir as well is, you know, real people singing it. And if we could figure out a way to do it, we would probably use real brass player and stuff like that too. But so far, that's even over the budget for us.
Yes, and I don't know, I've been going through your music several times now, and I still can't define what makes me feel more elevated. It could be your strength and courage. I mean, your music is something that makes me think that there's something wrong with this market. You know, this might sound controversial, but I have to say it.
No.
I respect the old heavy metal bands, like
Mm.
legends like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, and many, many more. Like they are the boundaries of what we know today. But man, you can't close your mind to songs like, I don't know, Trifecta of Horrors. It sounds like we are getting a newborn from Jimmy Borgir and Behemoth, for example, like two hyper beasts of this industry and this kind of music, especially. And what are your thoughts on this as a founder member of Zornheym, as a musician, and as a part of this Russian roulette, the music industry? Because you are not afraid to experiment. And even though this market has a lot of stupid rules, you have a lot of support, not only from the fans, but also the metal community.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, we, the band, you know, and that's me, Zorn, and then we have a new drummer called Qual,
Mhm.
and the other guitar player is called Skukka, and our singer is called Bendler. As long as we four are happy with it, that's what we're going to be going with. And then, of course, the guy, Sverker Widgren of Wing Studios, who records all our albums. He's also like a great producer that pushes us and helps us with some decisions making. And I mean, so far, it's been like, if we are satisfied with the product, it seems like the people that enjoy our music are happy with it as well. Like recently, um, I didn't mention this with our concept earlier, but we have also released 2 graphic novels, and since the second graphic novel was delayed, and these are kind of the graphical um, entity of the albums. So it's basically the whole lyrical story put into a graphic novel. And since the second graphic novel got delayed because the painter, the artist, she got pregnant, and I had a son, my second son coming. Um, so things got delayed, as they do when you involve infants, and we decided to record an acoustic EP to go with that. And that felt like a pretty daring move, because our music is kind of melodic but still focusing on the extreme. And then we had done some live streamings during the COVID period and stuff like that, where me and Bendler, the singer, were doing some acoustic interpretations of our songs, and people started like, maybe you should do more of that, because that sounded really cool. So we decided to arrange a couple of songs, and we were like, let's just put this out and see how people react to it. But people have been very positive about it. So next weekend we're going to be playing a show in Denmark, and first in the evening we're going to play an acoustic set for like 20 minutes, and then later in the evening we are going to do like a full headline set with the rock instruments and a full Zornheym show. So even there, it feels like people are interested to know what we're coming up with, basically. So I feel pretty confident that, you know, the main important thing is that we're going to be happy with it. At the same time, you can see our music as some sort of onion almost, that that we want to make songs that you can headbang to and enjoy, and that's like the first layer. But if you are a person like me who really like King Diamond, and you really like when the story has this big concept behind it, you can peel off a layer, and there you have the whole asylum. And then what we usually do is that we put out some Easter eggs, and we have a whole Discord community where people are discussing different Easter eggs, and that we've put out there. Like the first album ends with an acoustic outro that's actually the intro for the second album, and it's also the main riff of the first song, Corpus Vile. Small things like that, and people are starting to discovering it, and yeah, it's it's just awesome, the kind of support that we're getting, starting to get. And I hope that this will kind of open up some doors for us in South America, because like I said, I've been there previously, and it was a really cool experience.
I know that bands like this need full support, not only from the
Yeah.
label or some crowdfunding, but sometimes you need to have a full-time job. And so
Yes.
you need to have some kind of good balance between your personal life and your life as a musician. I mean,
Yeah.
booking studio sessions, taking care of every person who's part of the process, the gear, all these kind of things. I mean, all these things demand a lot of time and hard work. Like, how does this work for you? And especially, how does it work when you have to go into the studio, or maybe not into the studio, but when you have to go into this songwriting process kind of mood?
Yeah, I mean, the new album that we are currently recording, I think I ended the composing period about almost over a year ago, because the drums, they were recorded last summer in the studio. And then we went to do some shows, and then we realized that our former drummer, he was occupied with another band that he had. So we came to the conclusion that we needed to part ways with him, and that's how we got in our new drummer, Qual. So that took some time as well to get like a new drummer. But last year I recorded during the fall and the winter. We recorded all the guitars, electric guitars, effects, solos, clean guitars, and acoustic guitars, 12 strings guitars, nylon string guitars. There's a lot of guitars on the new album. And actually, next month we're gonna record the vocals for it. So right now there's like 3 lyrics left that need to be finished in 4 weeks. So my days are usually quite jam-packed with you know, going to work, and while I'm on the way to work, I maybe do some social media on the train to work, and then maybe we have some sort of decisions to make. Like this morning we made in the band chat that we have, we decided what clothes we're gonna wear when we're doing the acoustic appearance next week. And this weekend we have a show in another town in Sweden called Västerås at Bulgasa Metal Fest. And you know, during the day I try and find some sweet spots when I'm at work to get some stuff done, basically. And then when I'm going home, I'm taking care of my kids and my family. And then I have this crypt, this little room here where I usually go in during the evenings if there's nothing else planned, and work on stuff and ideas. And I recently moved to this new flat, so this is like the first time that I'm having my own little room to compose in. So, you know, a lot of stuff is done on the phone and in chat groups, and then I usually travel to one member of the band. Like now, me and Skukka, the other guitar player, we are finalizing all the orchestral arrangements. And since he's Irish, he's also extremely skilled in English, which is extremely good to have when you're writing in English, to have a native speaking person, so he can always support a lot with the lyrics writing. And this time around, Bendler, our singer, has been more involved in the lyrical writing as well. On the previous albums, it's been mostly me writing the stuff, because it's kind of my concept and story, but I really like to get everyone involved in the cooking, even though I can take a person. I prefer to work in pairs, basically. So I usually pick one that, okay, now I'm going to focus and work a little bit with this guy, and we're going to focus on this. Like naturally, it's me and Skukka doing a lot of the orchestral arrangements, and everyone is allowed to have input, because if you are able to contribute, then you're gonna have like a bigger passion for the album, and then it's gonna feel like it's our album and not my album, and they are my a vessel for me to get the album out. I want it to feel like we're a unit, even though I write the music and come up with the stories. I want everyone to feel involved in the process. And that was actually something I discovered, because we recently released a song called None for All, and that was supposed to be a standalone single that we would have released after the release of the third album. But since we switched drummer and everything like that, I felt that, okay, we're switching drummer. We don't want to delay everything more. So let's just switch things around. So let's finish the standalone single, because, you know, it's easier to finish one song than to finish a whole album. So we finished that, recorded a music video, and when I really felt that Bendler did his best vocal performance, because he was very involved in the lyric writing. And you know, on the first album, it was basically me writing stuff and then sending him like a finished song where he would fit the vocals. Now I come more more often with, you know, a song idea that maybe we even recorded at his place, and I'm like, do you think you can sing over this riff? I'm thinking that this is a verse, and then it's like, yeah, yeah, this is going to be great. And then I record it, and then he records some vocal ideas, and then I go home, and then I have to sit and maybe tweak the riff a little bit, so it's going to be less busy when he's singing. And here in the end, he doesn't sing so much, so then I can squeeze in like a cool melody line or something like that. So it's more and more growing to this entity that's giving birth to different songs and arrangements, which I feel is great.
This band has a lot of classical voices as a background on almost every song of your albums. This is something that makes your music shine like more than anything. And I can imagine a show with a live orchestra and all the real voices behind. In fact, if I am not wrong, the second album has a lot more orchestra than the first one. Like Corpus Vile is a good example of that. I can hear some winds on the background too.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm wrong, but do you see this like as a possibility in the future? Maybe just for one show, once in a lifetime experience? Because I think that you deserve it. Would you like to take that option?
Yeah, actually, back when I was study at the university, we did like we went to a classical music hall, and I told the conductor there, like, one day I'm gonna return, and your orchestra is going to back me up with
That's great.
with something. So I mean, to be honest, the whole concept, we would like to always perform with, like a string quartet and a few people playing brass, and have some sort of choir going with us, and even have like live actors and stuff like that on stage. That's like the end game of of Zornheym, to be this big spectacle that's traveling around, where you get to see and hear and experience something out of the ordinary. And I mean, that's why we're doing the things with, graphic novels, and we try and do very interesting music videos and stuff like that as well. But playing together with a real orchestra is definitely on our bucket list, and I really hope that we get the chance to do that one day. I mean, we're already now kind of preparing for it, because we always write, scores to the classical musicians, the choir people. Well, the men, they usually never want to hear it. They just want to hear, the melody line, and the women, they always want to have, score paper. And the classical string composers that we are using, they also always want to have score and everything like that. And for them, to be in the studio, knowing that they've never heard the song and they're nailing it so good, because these people they're on a different level than we are musically. They are so skilled, at their instrument. It's jaw-dropping every time.
It would be great to see you guys with the live orchestra one day. Maybe for a live DVD, I don't know, but
Yeah,
you have to do
would be
that.
even cooler. Yeah.
Just
And,
just once.
yeah, and that's also something, we're busting our asses off to realize all our visions and ideas, and we're still, up at 5 or 6% of all the ideas that we have. And I mean, that's a reason why we earlier this year started our Patreon, and that has grown to be, you know, a secure source of income for the band, and everything that comes in there goes straight into the band. You know, the production, music production, and everything like that. So everything is put back into music making and to realizing weird ideas like our big second graphic novel. And yeah, we want to make board games,
That's
all
a
kinds of.
real challenge.
Yeah, and but the thing is that we're so uh we're pretty good at coming up with ideas, and we know a lot of people. And but the things that's missing is like a huge label support and you know, more funding, basically, uh to realize even more ideas. But I really hope that that's coming one day, because already now, with our limited resources, we're doing a lot more than bands that have like great fundings from big labels and stuff like that. So if the right people are discovering us, or maybe checking out this interview, uh, we can really make big things with a small budget.
You deserve to be like known here in Argentina. Uh, your albums are awesome. I mean, it's something
Thank you so much.
unique. Just like I said, I had to, I don't know, give them a few shots because it was not easy to digest with just one listening session. So
Mhm.
I had to spin it again and again and again, so I could, I don't know, have the whole picture of what was happening on every album. But it's cool that I don't know, you can use this kind of platforms, so to say, so you can reach more audience. And of course,
And explain.
yeah, and of course, I don't know, Latin America is a very special place for the heavy metal bands,
Mhm.
because I don't know if you've ever seen some documentary or some live DVD or live concert on YouTube.
Yes.
I don't know, like AC/DC back in 2011, if I remember correctly. Um, you can see this kind of hell. Like
Yeah.
we are so crazy and so passionate because we don't have heavy metal concerts very often. We don't have the big festivals that you can see in Europe, for example, like Wacken Open Air or
Mhm.
Masters of Rock. And
I actually remember I played at the festival in Mexico called Heaven and Hell,
yeah,
and I was blown away because Megadeth was like the headline that night. And I remember they were playing Holy Wars, and the fans, they sung throughout the whole song. They played, they sung the you know, the lyrics, the guitar solo, the guitar riffs. And that was like one of, such a cool experience for me, because I was standing next to the stage we had played earlier that night. And it was so cool to, because I've never heard anything like that in real life. I've seen it in live videos. You know, I have them. Isn't Ingves live DVD recorded in Buenos Aires? If I remember, yeah, I have that one. It's great, you know, but you know, seeing it live like that was so unique for me, you know, because I'm coming from a world that's pretty spoiled with metal shows. So at least for a period of time, people were, they were standing like this. Isn't this band any better? Or my band should have been up there. They weren't really that passionate about it. At least like 10 years ago in Sweden. I think now it's getting way better.
We sing every riff, every melody, every chorus, every verse, like everything is part of this amazing experience that you can live here in South America. So it would be great to have you here, guys. I don't have more questions. I think that you said everything that I wanted to hear.
Oh, awesome.
In fact, I had more questions, but you answered all of them without me having to ask the questions. So that was awesome.
That's the kind of thing when I get like an opportunity like this, I really want to try and explain everything, because it's like, wait, there's so much more than just cool riffs and cool melodies and awesome vocals and stuff like that. There's more.
Exactly. But I have just one more question, and it's about the new album that's coming out. I don't know when specifically, but just like you said, a new single was released, which is titled Known for All. But
Yeah.
well, with the addition of a new drummer to your lines. And
Yeah.
do we have the title of the album already?
That was something that was discussed yesterday, and it's almost set in stone. That has been a topic that's been discussed during the week, but it's not set in stone. It was also has been some meetings about cover art and stuff like that, because that's gonna happen next month. I think we're gonna start making the cover art. But so I can't really give it away because it's not set in stone yet. But I can tell you that this album is gonna be a prequel. We're gonna go back to the origin of the asylum and learn what happened to Dr. Beetleheim when he first got there, and why he is so twisted and evil, and get to know why.
Okay, that's great to hear. I can imagine like a prequel from the first album, because like, I don't know, the first album is so full of stories and a lot of things like going on
Yeah.
into every song that I can't imagine how a prequel might sound. So
Yeah.
it will be very interesting for all of us to know. But do you have some date for the upcoming release?
I'm hoping that we're gonna be able to record the last bits and pieces, and that's the vocals, choirs, and strings, and the orchestral stuff by the end of this year. And then I hope that we can start making plans for a release early next year. So around spring, summer, I would say that would be the best for us. But at the same time, now when we've been working on it for so long, if something comes up, we don't want to rush it too much. But I'm really working hard on finalizing it, and recording the drums and the guitars, that's usually the easiest part. And then the work burden gets more spread out. We need to have the score ready, we need to have string people, and then we need to have choir people. And since we don't have stacks of dollar bills lying around, we need to be patient with people, and asking for a lot of favors, and then we have to wait and stuff like that.
Well, let's see if we can help with this interview. I
that
hope
would be awesome.
this can be a real like tool or platform for you to reach a larger audience. Thank you very much for taking this time and to talk with me.
And let's stay in contact. And we always like to reshare stuff and, you know, do our part to help you and your channel to grow. So, you know, when everything is ready, just send it back to us and we'll share it through our social media, and hopefully we can help you grow a little bit. I mean, that's how I found out about you. I saw your interview with Yari of Winter Sun, and I thought you did a great job there. So I felt like, oh, never heard of this channel before.
No, that was a real surprise for me because Yari posted my interview. Of course, I was very happy with that, but I still can't believe it. Like today, I see that post and I can't believe that I don't know that happened. So it means a lot.
Yeah, and that's how people are discovering different stuff. Because then I started scrolling and saw that you had done more stuff. And didn't you recently do something with Tungsten from Sweden as well? That's on my list, you know.
But well, man, now I can let you go. You can keep doing your stuff.
Yeah. Well, both of the kids are asleep, but I probably need to go and pat my wife a little bit.
Well, that's something great. If the kids are asleep, well, okay, then you're going to be very, very happy, like for a couple of hours. So, well, buddy, thank you so very much. One more time.
Oh, thank you.
Let's keep in touch for the future.
Yeah, let's do that. And sometimes I might be slow at replying, but that's because I'm trying to do more stuff than is humanly possible.
And cheers to every member of the band. So
yeah.
Well, see you soon, buddy. Thank you for everything.
Oh, thank you so much. Take care, man.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.